In this video, we will demonstrate 12 cranial nerves: olfactory tract and bulb, optic nerve, oculomotor nerve, trochlear nerves we cannot see here in this specimen, trigeminal nerve, abducens, facial nerve, vestibulocochlear nerve, glossopharyngeal nerve, vagus, hypoglossal nerve, and spinal accessory nerve. Olfactory tract is made from numerous olfactory nerves that exit the skull through cribriform plate of ethmoid bone. It is situated on the rostral part of the brain and close to anterior cerebral artery. It ends as olfactory bulb. First cranial nerve of all olfactory nerve is important for smell detection. Second cranial nerve is optic nerve. Optic nerve receives visual information from eye retina and sends information to the other side of the brain by crossing at optic chiasm. After optic chiasm, optic nerve becomes optic tract. Optic tract projects to lateral geniculate body of thalamus and then to the visual cortex. Optic nerve exits skull through optic canal. Third cranial nerve or oculomotor nerve is between posterior cerebral and superior cerebellar artery. It is pure motor nerve that innervates 4 pairs of extraoculomotor muscles: medial, superior and inferior rectus, and inferior oblique. Also innervate levator palpebrae superior muscle. This cranial nerve exits skull in superior orbital fissure. Trochlear nerve is the only cranial nerve that originates on the dorsal side of the brain and loops to the ventral side. It is motor nerve that innervates superior oblique muscle. Trochlear nerve exits skull in superior orbital fissure. Trigeminal nerve, or fifth cranial nerve, is mixed nerve with motor and sensory function that innervates chewing muscles and conveys sensation from face, cornea, teeth, gum, and palate. It has 3 branches: ophthalmic, maxillary, and mandibular. They leave a skull through superior orbital fissure, foramen rotundum, and foramen ovale respectively. Abducens nerve, or sixth cranial nerve, is pure motor cranial nerve, and it is positioned between pons and medulla oblongata. It innervates extraocular muscle, lateral rectus muscle. It leaves skull through superior orbital fissure. Facial nerve, or seventh cranial nerve, is mixed nerve that is between pons and medulla oblongata. It innervates muscle of facial expression, conveys sensation of taste of anterior 2/3 of tongue, and it is responsible for parasympathetic innervation of lacrimal, submandibular, and sublingual glands. It exits skull at internal acoustic meatus, facial canal, and stylomastoid foramen. Vestibulocochlear nerve is a double cranial nerve important for hearing, position, and motion sense. It exits skull through internal acoustic meatus. Glossopharyngeal nerve, or ninth cranial nerve, conveys sensory information of the posterior third of the tongue and pharynx. It also contains autonomic fibers and motor fibers that control muscles of soft palate, pharynx, and larynx. It exits the skull through jugular foramen together with the vagus and spinal accessory nerve. Vagus, or 10th cranial nerve, is a mixed nerve that provides sensory and autonomic motor fibers to the pharynx, larynx, trachea and esophagus, and voluntary motor fibers for the muscles of pharynx, palate and larynx. Accessory spinal nerve, or 11th cranial nerve, is motor nerve that innervates neck muscles, sternocleidomastoid, and trapezius muscles that moves scapula. It is positioned caudally in medulla oblongata. Hypoglossal is the nerve that is positioned between pyramids and olives, and it is a pure motor nerve that innervates muscle of tongue. It exits the skull through hypoglossal canal. In summary, 9 of the cranial nerves are in the brain stem. Those are nerves from 4 to 12, while cranial nerve 3 is on the level of midbrain. Cranial nerve 2 is the level of diencephalon, and olfactory tract, cranial nerve 1, is at the level of the cerebral hemisphere. Cranial nerves from 1 to 12 are olfactory, optic, oculomotor, trochlear. Trochlear is the only cranial nerve which exits on the dorsal side of the brain. Then we have trigeminal, abducens, facial, vestibulocochlear, glossopharyngeal, vagus, accessory, and finally hypoglossal. To remember these names of cranial nerves, we can use mnemonic. On old Olympus towering top, a friendly Viking grew vines and hops. This concludes demonstration of the cranial nerves.